Nobody ever wants to follow Reagan. But I'm pleased today to introduce our first speaker of the day. Now, how many of you listen to KWEL Radio? All right. And, of course, how many of you listen, this is a test now, Watchdog Radio, 5 p.m. There you go. All right. Then if you listen regularly, you know for a fact that this young lady is on with me every Tuesday, and we're talking a lot. Our heartbeat at KWEL Radio is local stuff. A lot of people talk national things and state stuff. We really try to focus on local. And Peggy Venable has done a great job coming on each week talking about how much, this is not an exciting part of it, but local debt you have. Because if you're empowered with the knowledge of how much debt you have the ability to do something about it. She always provides us great tools, to take on local government, to take on state and national government. Really, local is where mine and her heartbeat both are. Now, Peggy worked in the Reagan administration in the Department of Education, no less. And so she's got a lot of war stories. She can tell you a lot of Reagan stories, but we've asked her here today because she understands the concept of that those of us in business are working to pay the bills for those who aren't paying. And a lot of us in business succeed at business in spite of government, not because of government. She understands that. So welcome to the Pro-America Rally, Peggy Venable of Americans for Prosperity.
Thank you. Let me get this down here. Hey, thank you, my little buddy, Captain Watchdog. I want to thank you for being here. I'm so grateful to Craig Anderson and KWEL Radio and Captain Watchdog for giving us a chance to talk to so many folks in West Texas every week, and thank you for this rally. And I noticed that Colonel Watchdog is over there, and the pups are all about working, so this is a family affair. Hats off to all of you, and thanks for all you do. Love you. Let me say, I'm a West Texas gal. If you hear me on the radio, you can tell from my voice that I'm from West Texas, can't you? But I have great roots here. I love West Texas. I grew up here, Odessa Permian. Don't hold it against me, you Midland and Odessa High folks. But I have to tell you, I learned what was important about America right here in West Texas, because I understood the sweat equity and the investment and risk that people put into their businesses. My dad had an oil field equipment business. Folks, that's not where you make all the money, the oil field equipment business. And we saw busts and we saw booms. But I have to tell you, I so respected the fact that every day he got out and he worked. It was not the government that built his business. It was my dad. And hats off to all you entrepreneurs. You know, we're here today to celebrate America, and we can celebrate America every day, but we also have to recognize that the America we know and love is slipping through our fingers. We know that, and that's why we're here today. There has been a war on America, a war on capitalism, a war on oil and gas and fossil fuels. And folks, we're here to turn that around and take back America. America is under attack. We know that. This year, I've traveled this great state of Texas. As a matter of fact, just this week, I started out Monday in Dallas, and Wednesday I was in Houston. I was in South Texas Thursday night. And here I am, so glad to be in West Texas now. I'll be going to Abilene on my way out of here. And what are we doing? We're talking about economic freedom and reminding people how important that is. And I'll tell you what I'm sharing with folks. America was once rated #1 in the world in economic freedom. We Americans realize that's where we should be, don't we? But folks, 2000, we were rated #3. In 2009, we were rated #10. And just this month, a new rating came out, and guess where we are? We have not gone up. We have gone to #18. 18 in the world in economic freedom. Folks, that's not what our forefathers fought for. That is not the America that they envisioned. And let's just face it, we are #18 because in large part to the failing agendas in Washington, and we are plummeting because of Obama's failing agenda. So We at Americans for Prosperity are not sitting back and taking this lying down. Let me tell you, we have decided that we are taking 3 Greyhound-sized buses wrapped with Obama's failing agenda, and we are zigzagging the country. We are in small towns and big cities. We're holding rallies. We're sharing information with people. And the exciting news, if you've been listening to Captain Watchdog, you know that I've actually talked the buses that are generally spending time in states that we need to educate people better. But I figure, you know what? They have to go through Texas to head from Louisiana to New Mexico or Oklahoma to New Mexico, don't they? So I twisted their arm, and we have them for one day. And we are starting out October 10. October 10, we're starting out with breakfast tacos on the town square in McKinney, right there in North Texas. Then we're going to Abilene. We're going to be at the mall in Abilene at 2:30, probably serving ice cream and talking about Obama's failing agenda. And then, folks, we're coming to Odessa. We're so excited to be here, too. It'll be barbecue. Bob Barnes, Rockin' Q Smokehouse, my favorite. We're going to be serving barbecue. It will be at 6:30 on October 10th. We will be in the parking lot, the northwest corner, 42nd and Parkway, and we want you there. Folks, we are going to be talking about Obama's failing agenda, and we want to talk to folks that aren't just the true believers. We're sharing our message with everybody. And let me just share with you a couple of things we're talking about. The $16 trillion debt that has grown by 1/3 under the short time under Obama. We can't continue at that pace. We're talking about Washington spending more money than they bring in consistently. We're talking about an administration that has not passed a budget. Not passed a budget. We can't do that in our own businesses. How can we allow Washington to continue? We're talking about over 43 straight months of unemployment over 8%. Now, folks, we remember when Obama said, if you will pass this stimulus spending, almost $1 billion, and it's turned out to be more, in stimulus spending, if you don't, unemployment could reach 8%. Remember those days when we were below 8%? Folks, since he's been in office, we have not seen it below 8%. That means 13 million people unemployed. And he thinks giving them an unemployment check is solving the problem. Folks, we've got government that is upside down. They work for us. We should not be working for them. And let me just share with you, I've just got a minute because we've got some great speakers. I'm excited to hear the folks coming up, David Weber and my man Ted Cruz. So I just want to share with you that $16 trillion budget, the debt that we have out of Washington, let's remember it's not just happening in Washington, but in our own backyards. And if you've heard me on KWell, you know my message is a simple one. We are leaving our children a legacy of debt. That is not the legacy you and I want to leave them. But here in Texas, we are number 2. We don't like to be number 2 in anything, do we? When we're the top state for business relocating to our state, the top state for job creation, we're the top state for exporting. But, folks, we're number 2 in an area we don't want to be near the top on, and that is local government debt. We are second only to California, the Greece of America. We're number 2 because local governments are spending too much and they're taxing us too much, and they're putting a lot of that on future generations. $322 billion in local government debt. And, folks, this November, across the state, 38 taxing entities have a total of $5.5 billion more on the tax rolls, on the ballot. That's not counting interest rates. That's not counting what we're going to pay on the interest. So, folks, let me just share with you, as you know, I love talking local. Let's talk trash. Midland ISD currently has a debt that is $184 million. That's principal plus interest. And they want to pass another, only counting the principal, $163 million plus. That will more than double Midland's ISD tax rate. Odessa, no better. Ector County ISD has $140 million in debt right now. And they're asking you to pass another $130 million, which with interest rates will be more than double the local debt right now. Folks, it is out of control, spending today what our kids will end up paying for tomorrow. And that's really a travesty. We want our children, as my parents wanted us, to be able to enjoy the American dream, to have that opportunity to do better than our parents did. Folks, this is the first generation that opportunity now will not exist. They will not have the opportunity to achieve what their parents achieved. We must turn this around. We must take back America. That's why that bus tour is coming through Texas. That's why we're traveling the country to talk about the need to take back America and inform people who don't know just how bad Obama's policies have been and just how they have failed us. I don't mind telling you, I love driving into West Texas where you see the big billboard saying, "I built it, Obama can kiss my rig." Thank you, Clayton Williams. And Obama can kiss my grill and everything else. You know, we need to send that message across the country. You know what built America. And it wasn't going on in Washington, D.C. I spent long enough up there to know you aren't going to change Washington, D.C. from there. You're going to change it from right here. Though we have a speaker coming up that's going to help us change it from there, too. I just want to say we have a table over there with Americans for Prosperity. We're encouraging people in Texas to make phone calls. We have what we call our Freedom Phone Project. And we give you one sheet of paper, and you can make phone calls from any phone. Your ID never shows up. We're calling into states where people need to hear from common sense folks like you, if you know what I mean. And we're letting them know that Obama's agenda is failing. That is the most important message that we can get out this month. So we encourage you to participate. Please sign up so we can get you information on our bus stop here, and we can get you involved in our Freedom Phones. You know, this is the most important election in my lifetime, and I worked on the Reagan campaign. And Jimmy Carter was bad, but there are so many similarities between our president and Jimmy Carter. This is our opportunity to take America back and stop the legacy of debt that we are now leaving our children and grandchildren. I want to say God bless you for being here. God bless the great state of Texas, and God bless America. Thank you so much. Together, we will take back America.